Welcome back to the Rock and Roll channel for a morning coffee edition of the show. I got Jeremy Schnell from Arizona Sports, and he covers the Sun Devils and the Cardinals and Arizona sports in general. And quick backstory on how him and I got in touch was I'm at the gym the day before I left for Tempe to vlog the ASU Texas Tech game, and I see a gentleman wearing a Arizona State dad shirt. And my mind immediately said, man, ask this guy if he knows any cool places in Tempe, what he suggests, because I had never really been to Tempe. So I asked him, and he says, oh, my son covers the team. And I said, oh, awesome. He goes, he'll know the places. So I said, is he on X? He goes, absolutely. I said, I'll send him a message. And he goes, send him a message. If you don't hear from him in a day or two, let me know, and I'll make sure. And this gentleman, Jeremy, here got right back to me, told me where to go. And he was spot on, and we've kept in touch since then. So thank you so much for giving me cool recommendations in Tempe. Mill Ave is awesome. Had a blast there. So just real quick, you went to Arizona State, you went to the journalism school, and yeah that was your.
Yeah, I went to school there. Finished after 4 years. Went to Montana, did a couple of years there on TV in Montana, and then found my way back here.
Awesome, man. Because I mean, it is so nice out there. I didn't want to leave there when I was there. Yeah. I can see why so many alumni stay there. Like I think there's a statistic like 70% stay. It's some crazy number, but great time. And I noticed, I had a feeling before I went that Kenny Dillingham has really reinvigorated the culture, and I knew he would. In his 2 years at Florida State, you saw the energy that guy brings, the passion. I said, man, he's going to bring it back times 10. Because that's where he's from and that's his alma mater. And what have you noticed in the last 3 years now that Kenny's been there that's different than previous regimes, the culture, everything?
Something that I tell people all the time is that he just gets it. You know, there are not a lot of coaches these days. Well, there are coaches that are starting to figure it out in this NIL era. But Kenny, he got it right away. He knew what the kids wanted to hear. He's a younger coach. He's in his mid-30s, so he kind of understands what the kids want to hear. He understands like the lingo and all the things like that.
He's hip.
So, sure. Yeah, exactly. And what Kenny said right away was he wants not only to be a player's coach, but to relate to the players, and he's done a great job with that. And for the first 2 years, you know, the first year wasn't great. You know, they went 3-10, 3-9, whatever it was, 3-8. And now they, you know, in the second year, they were picked to finish last in the Big 12, and they go all the way to the Peach Bowl and lose in double overtime to Texas. Probably should have won the game.
Yeah, in that game, in my opinion.
Obviously, a lot of expectations coming into this season. I don't know if the Sun Devils do well with expectations. Over my life and, you know, what I've seen from ASU is, you know, when they had expectations back in 2015, they didn't live up to the expectations. So you know, moving forward with Kenny Dillingham, and that's what we're going to talk about here today, I'm sure it's going to be how do they, you know, build this program into a consistent winner.
Yeah, no, it's true. Obviously, his name is mentioned for other jobs. I don't believe it. I said that for a while now, not just because you're here. He loves it there. It's his alma mater. It's where he's from. He's building a house in Scottsdale. And he's got something going. I'm looking at the type of recruits you have visiting the games. It's a higher level of recruits now than Arizona State's seen in a while.
Absolutely.
I was trying to take in the culture there, and yeah, it was impressive. Like I said 1 o'clock game, it might not hit as much, and I was understanding of that, and I didn't think that was the case at all. Your fans,
we'll see how it is next week. 11 o'clock start next week.
That's not fair. But and that's a good point. But and it wasn't the case. 1 o'clock, your fans brought it the whole game, the pregame, everything. It was one of my favorite atmospheres I've been to. Great atmosphere, and that's what I think also is. Man, I think it's just some posturing if he gets a new deal with his agent. I just don't think he's leaving. I'd be 100% shocked because he's got everything he wants right now at Arizona State. He's building stability there. I think the NIL contributions have gone higher. He's got the facilities. I drove by the facility. It was nice.
Yeah, and they're building they just got the funding to build a new indoor facility and outdoor facility closer to the stadium, so that they have a weight room and a locker room at the stadium that is state of the art that they just redid in the past 5 or 6 years. And so now they're going to build a newer field that's closer to that, so that they don't have to be walking over across the street to get to where they practice now. There's a bubble over there that
Right.
they're gonna get rid of. They're gonna build a new state of the art bubble that is more of an indoor facility that you see around like the NFL and bigger Division I programs. So since last year and the playoff run and all that, it's gotten a lot better in terms of NIL, buy-in, season tickets, all the above. That people are starting to believe. And it's not just Kenny, it's athletic director Graham Rossini, who came in around the same time as Kenny Dillingham. He has been awesome, very open to the fans. He's all over X right now, like
I've seen his posts. Yeah.
trying to get fans to give him feedback on what they want to see, whether it is the basketball programs, the football program, the newly Division I hockey program that it plays at a state-of-the-art facility that is brand new, that I'm sure the Coyotes played at for a few years as well.
Yeah.
So the turn of, I think, into the 2020s really changed what people wanted to see in athletics at Arizona State, and that comes along with NIL, and the buy-in from the athletic department has been spectacular so far.
No, and I also noticed, and I understand it's different sports, but I think they all play in together. Is I saw you're giving $150 million to upgrade the basketball arena. I think that all goes hand in hand.
That is well overdue. The basketball arena hasn't been redone since the 90s, I believe. I mean, there's no handrails in the lower bowl, so when people are trying to go, if they're a little older, they're trying to walk down to their seats, they have nowhere to brace themselves as they're walking down to their seats. So that's even not safe in some cases. So well overdue. Glad they're doing that. It's going to help recruiting as well once they get the locker rooms and the weight room and all that facilities upgraded as well.
No, it's fantastic, and like I said, I love what Kenny's doing there. Your fans really responded that day, and I made sure to ask a lot of them about what they thought of Kenny, and they all said the same stuff. It was nice to hear, and then they saw my Seminole hat, and they're like, "We know he was with you for 2 years. Are you surprised at all? What did you think?" Like, they were asking me questions by this time, and I said, "Well, we only had him for 2 years, but you saw the energy right away." Kenny, when it came to recruiting, he didn't care if it was the number one player in the country. He's like, "I'll start a conversation with him. If we get him, we get him. We don't, we don't." He didn't have that mentality of, "Hey, it's going to be a long shot. Let me move on to other guys." He was just not afraid.
And he has the pedigree too, because he's helped players like Jordan Travis at Florida State. He helped players like Bo Nix at Oregon and Auburn. He had him at both places. So, and now he has Sam Levitt, who probably is going to be coming back for his third season at Arizona State after a season-ending injury. So to see that growth of players, specifically at the quarterback position, I think that'd be pretty good for recruiting as well, to see Kenny Dillingham doing stuff with the quarterback position.
No, and listen, Noel fans are forever grateful to Kenny, because if it wasn't for Kenny, we never would have had the Jordan Travis run we had. He was about to move positions. I'm sure you heard the story. Jordan was about to move positions, and Kenny was furious when he saw him catching passes one day. And the rest is history. That was more him than Mike even.
Well, Sam Levitt does catch passes, but it's usually just for fun out at practice.
Well, it wasn't that day with Jordan, and Kenny was furious. And the rest is history. He was the one that believed in him and developed him. And Mike took over from there, but it was Kenny's vision that came about. That's why we love Kenny. He was only there 2 years. He's been great to us. He tweets about us. Like this, I don't remember that many coordinators leaving that we still have a relationship with, like Kenny.
Yeah, and that's the same with Auburn. That's the same with Oregon as well, and Memphis, who he had worked with in the past. I think he worked with Brady White there, who is now on the staff here. So, I mean, you see the results, and hopefully recruits see that moving forward as well.
And just to think, man, he does, I'm sure, have some offers, quote unquote, bigger programs. But to know he's that committed to you guys and what he's building there, I think that's ASU really struck gold with this guy. Yeah, he's a alumni and all, but which is more dangerous to hire former. Well, no, he didn't play there, but alumni wise, they're harder to fire if they don't work out well.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, there was stories that were coming out about, you know, the Auburn job, the LSU job, what have you. And a story came out yesterday that said that he went to each of the position groups and said that he was staying for the 2026 season. And
is that confirmed? I was going to ask you about that.
He said that. I mean, it was in a story yesterday, and
I saw that.
He said that when he came on this morning on Bickley and Murata on Arizona Sports. You can find that on the Arizona Sports YouTube channel. And you can see, like, he's committed to this program moving forward.
That's fantastic because you just see, like, I was impressed with, because, all right, he coached under Mike. The most he got to call plays at Florida State was maybe a quarter. Everyone thought he called a lot of it. He called maybe a quarter. The fact that he's had the humility to say, Marcus Arroyo, you're calling plays. I need to look at the big picture. Where our coach in his 40s was forced to do that pretty much. Kenny in his mid-30s, to see that, were you surprised he gave up play calling to Arroyo, or you thought that Kenny wanted to be the CEO?
It's interesting because, yes, he's given up play calling in a sense, but he gets the final call. He'll always say that. Like, he'll hear the play call and he'll say, you know what, maybe let's do this here. But he does give a lot of leeway to his coordinators to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Sometimes to a fault, like you saw in the Peach Bowl on the defensive side, when it was 4th and 17 and they went with zero blitz, and, Texas was able to score on 4th and 17 and tie it up in overtime. So sometimes to a fault, but that trust shows the players, hey, you can listen to your position coaches and your coordinators. They know what they're talking about. It's not just me. And I think that's good. But sometimes, I would like him to step in a little bit more. It's happened a couple times this year. Specifically on defense, where you were like, you wish Kenny would have overruled a specific call. The Mississippi State game comes to mind, where they lost in the final minute of that game.
Right. Probably special teams also with the Texas Tech game that I was at.
Yeah, and Charlie.
There was a couple times. Yeah.
Charlie Regal, the special teams coordinator, has taken a leave of absence due to health-related concerns. So we don't know if that was playing into some of the special teams stuff that was going on. But yeah, it has been bad this year, and specifically the kicking last year was a problem, and they addressed that with getting Jesus Gomez out of the portal, who's been pretty good this year too.
No, that's true, because fans were going crazy about that there. But that's cool that Kenny brought back his old high school mentor. Like, he's really, man, the culture. I was so impressed. I keep saying this, and I mean it. The culture was there, but I'm seeing buy-in not just with the football, but I saw basketball supporting the football. I saw hockey supporting the football, the women's athletics. Like, I saw the women's gymnastics or swim team or somebody there going crazy. I look at those little things, especially when you go campus to campus. It was awesome. Like, the culture he's brought. I'm planning on going back for a game.
We would love that. Yeah, we would love to have you, of course.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and not like, oh, I'm so cool, I'm coming back, but like, I had such a blast there. The culture there, it's only going to get better. He's really built that place up. So it looks like Sam Levitt's out the rest of the year, unfortunately. He's got another year eligibility next year, correct? I think he said he's got a third year next year.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 2 more years if he wanted. He's a redshirt sophomore this year. Yeah, and I mean, he took the team to the Peach Bowl as a redshirt freshman last year. Almost, won that game, like I said. But this year started off pretty slow for Sam Levitt, and we were looking at him as the guy that needed to step up this season after Cam Scatterbo went to the draft. And, first couple games, you were like, okay, Sam kind of struggling out there. But since then, he had turned it around and was looking pretty good, missed a game, and then came back and was good after that. And then the injury happened again against Houston, and which led to a surgery. He had surgery earlier this week, it looks like, and he'll be out the rest of the way. I would hope he returns to Arizona State. I think here's the three options I would say. The first option is return to ASU. Second option, this draft class isn't very good at the quarterback position. Maybe someone gives him bad advice and says that he's going to be a first-round pick and he goes to the draft. Third option would be to transfer. I don't think that's going to happen. His father has said in the past that everything he needs to get ready for the NFL is right here at Arizona State. If Kenny Dillingham stays, I don't see any chance that Sam Levitt goes anywhere.
No, because Kenny's done such a great job developing him, along with Marcus. That he's a special talent. It's just so funny, man, seeing Jeff Sims as your quarterback now. I don't know if you remember the Jeff Sims recruitment story out of high school.
No, yeah, please tell me. Go ahead.
No, okay, so Jeff was committed to us under Willie Taggart.
Yeah.
And then we obviously fired Willie, and Mike took over, brought in Kenny the day after he got hired. And basically Mike told Jeff Sims, like, you can still come if you want, but I'm really recruiting other quarterbacks. Basically telling him to go find other options, which he got flack for. And Kenny was on the staff when Mike told him that. So to see Jeff year 6 playing for the offensive coordinator then of the coach who basically said, you're not my guy. It's a great story. Like,
and he had one of the best games of his career last week. And I mean, I know he's had a really tough career, both at Nebraska and Georgia Tech. But man, was he fantastic last week? Got 3 turnovers still, but he had over 400 yards total. Won the game for ASU, was probably the biggest reason they won last week at Iowa State. It's really good to see, and hopefully that can continue. ASU is still alive in the Big 12 championship race, believe it or not. They got 3 games left against all teams that aren't very good. West Virginia under 500, Colorado under 500, and then the Territorial Cup against Arizona here in Tempe. So if they win out and they get some help, they have a chance to go back to the Big 12 championship again with Jeff Sims this year as their quarterback.
Amazing.
It's really been, though, like Jordan Tyson and on offense and Keith Abney on defense at corner. Keith Abney is going to be a first-round pick. Jordan Tyson is going to be a top 10 pick this coming draft. We just haven't seen that at ASU. We haven't seen that type of talent come out of ASU. We expect Sam Levitt to be a first-round pick when he decides to go to the draft as well. So the culture that you've been talking about, that's shown in the talent on the team and also how much they believe in Kenny Dillingham. Not, obviously Jeff Sims hasn't been the best quarterback in his college career, but the belief that his teammates have in him and the belief that Kenny Dillingham has in him, gives him the confidence to go out and have the game like he did last week against Iowa State.
He broke a record, correct? Rushing, right?
I'm not 100% sure about that.
He broke the school record for rushing yards in a game as a quarterback.
I believe
yeah,
so. And
I saw that and I was like, bravo. I mean, what a win. Let's talk about that. On the road last week against Iowa State. I don't think people saw that.
Iowa State's been struggling a little bit the past 5 weeks, but still
on the road.
Raining. It was raining at Iowa State in Ames, and to be able to come out and make some good passes while it's raining, but also do it well on the ground. That was spectacular. The defense showed up, and that's been a story of this year. You just never know what ASU team's going to show up. And last week it was the version of ASU that we were expecting coming into this season.
Dude, that's so awesome, man. Anything you want to? I promise I wouldn't keep you long because you got to get to the station. Anything you want to just promote, talk about, please? I can't thank you enough for coming on and talking some ball with me.
Yeah, I appreciate that. If you're looking for just some knowledge on ASU athletics, you can find our podcast wherever you get your podcast. State of the Sun Devils, that's what it's called. You can find us all forms of social media at AZ Sports Devils. Really easy to find. And our writer, Damon Allred, does a spectacular job. You can find all his articles on the Arizona Sports website, arizonasports.com, and the Arizona Sports app.
Jeremy, thank you so much for coming on. Next time I come to Arizona, I hope to see you in person.
Let's do
And
it.
Good luck the rest of the year to you guys. I definitely I had one before, but I have an even bigger soft spot for Arizona State after my weekend there. I really do. And I want to come back for a hockey team in the future. That's for sure.
Yeah, we would love to have you. The hockey team, yeah, it just barely missed out on the NCAA tournament last year. So hoping
What a
for
facility
bigger
you
year
have.
this year. Oh, beautiful.
For people who've never been there.
For college hockey, not for the Coyotes.
Well, okay, yes. That's funny you say that. But for anyone who hasn't been there, real quick, what they do well at Arizona State that we don't even have in Florida State, well, a little bit, is you have your football stadium right here. Not even across the street is the basketball. Like literally, it's practically connected to the football. And then right behind that to the left is the hockey. Literally within one left turn, in a way, is
and
your
the
stadium.
Suns G League team plays at the hockey arena. Sometimes
wow.
if the big basketball arena is preoccupied, the women's basketball team will play at the hockey arena as well as the volleyball team and gymnastics and sometimes wrestling as well. So to have those type of facilities all close to each other, it's not difficult for fans to just switch their plans. Instead of going to the basketball arena, you just walk over.
Just real quick, a friend of mine who's a Florida State fan, but ASU is the FSU of the West as far as party school. Yeah, but you know what?
We're trying to get rid of the party school.
I know. That's why. They were serious about football that day because I think you're also. I can't remember a time this special at ASU with the personalities you have as coaches. You got Kenny, we know that we talked about that. Bobby Hurley, big personality, and Molly Miller.
She's great.
She's great. I was researching her a little last night before I talked to you. I love her. She's got an infectious personality.
Yeah, and we had her on the podcast right when she took the job at ASU. She was so great to us. She was sitting down with us for 15 minutes. We asked her some rapid fire questions, and she was fantastic with her time with us. And looking forward to hearing more from her in the future and seeing this women's basketball program make it back to the point where we hoped it would be, getting back to Sweet 16s and stuff like that.
Because I was watching some of her locker room speeches and that she's infectious. Her personality, I can see. I saw the day I was there. I didn't get to see it, but she led a pep rally. I think you got some great personalities on campus to go with your newfound, not newfound, but the reinvigorated fan base.
I do want to shout out JJ Van Neal, the volleyball coach. Has this women's volleyball team in the top 10 in the country. So, athletics on the way up here at Arizona State.
It really is, but you got the coaches to really have the buy-in with boosters and NIL, and you're rebuilding. Like it's a special time in Arizona State. I'm glad I'm watching it kind of on the rise here, or re-rise. That's not a word. But Jeremy, thank you so much. I'm gonna put the Arizona sports stuff in the description. We'll be in touch, and thank you so much for coming on today, man. I really appreciate it, and good luck the rest of the way with the Sun Devils.
Thanks, Jeremy.
My pleasure.